Talk about homes, risky buyers making a comeback in the housing market. Well, lenders are now apparently seeking out Americans who recently had gone through a foreclosure or a bankruptcy, and they say that these borrowers are a lot safer than their credit profiles suggest and are approving them. But this is the crazy part. Just weeks after a foreclosure. Jerry, you've done a lot of work on this. There's millions of people who went through foreclosures. If the rest of their credit's fine, but they got into a house that collapsed in price and everybody walked away.
They shouldn't get a mortgage right now. No. I mean, you've got to wait.
But there was a waiting period. Now they're talking about just weeks.
I think it's crazy. Now here comes ninja loans. Now here comes the loan you don't have to pay any interest on, right? You can delay it all. I think it's crazy. We don't want to go back right to where we were before. We do want higher standards. But I'm shocked by this story in part because what I know is that for people who are responsible, it's difficult to get loans now. So the fact that they would give it to these kinds of folks makes no sense.
And that's the story I keep hearing, is that it's still tough to get a loan.
This is what's going on. The big banks, Wells Fargo, what they're saying is that's not our problem anymore, that loan that went into foreclosure. As long as this person in front of me gets a W-2 and is employed, and we have a means to go back and make sure that there is any kind of recourse there, they're giving them the loan, and they're forgetting, and so everyone else, the taxpayers, are who has paid.
No, but what about the family who worked two jobs because they wanted to keep their house and they didn't want to get through?
Well, if they're entrepreneurial, and that's really the heart of this whole problem.
The family who did that is now being punished because somebody else walked away from that and doesn't have a house underwater. Weeks later, buying a house that's undervalued.
Let's talk about the banks, though, because the banks are going, ouch, I sold these things off to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, and now I am getting hit with penalties and fines and have to buy back billions of dollars worth of this stuff. I'm not making loans to anybody that I gotta buy the loan back.
This is absolutely true, and one of the big dirty secrets going on in this industry right now is it's not the blue bank, it's not the red bank, it's not Bank of America, it's not Citibank anymore. These are no-name lenders out there. You will not know the name of the person who underwrites your mortgage to begin with. They will give it to somebody else, sell it to someone else who will then process it. So you're not talking about lenders who are well-known and who Americans are going to get upset with if they then come back to the government and ask for money.
So it's a totally different world.
But Tammy, if we're going to get the housing market going again, we need these millions of people that want to buy a home, but they got into financial trouble 5 years ago.
Well, you know, that was one of the arguments that got us into, as you were mentioning, that got us into trouble in the first place, were these adjustments or orders to banks saying you must give. At one point, you could count welfare as an income source to give someone a mortgage. So, you know, these were the things in order to build up the market.
Guaranteed steady check, huh?
Now, look, we saw last week that the first-time home buyers or the new home sales have gone up. It's foreigners, or at least a lot of foreigners.
No, not anymore. Not as much anymore. It's millennials. If you look, the youngest, the group of millennials are now, if you look at millennials, home buying is like this. The four is actually going down. They bought all cash already.
So hold on. Millennials are part of it. But the dynamic here is, and this is why you see, again, orders and working with banks and these other lenders with the federal government, there's an interest, just like there was with Clinton and the Community Redevelopment Plan, of making this happen so that you have numbers that make it appear as though things are going well again.
Yeah.
I just don't see how.
I don't get that.
Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, that's where we live.